heading elements. So what are the various options of headings? Next, after understanding that headings, now we need to know about other options, uh, paragraphs and block quotes. Paragraphs and block quotes. How do we work with paragraphs and block quotes? Several more options are there. We will see that. So generally, yesterday we saw headings, the purpose of headings, and we discussed that headings need to be used only for headings, not to highlight any content. And a paragraph and block quotes are also simple. Actually, paragraph marks uh, that you define in editor will be ignored ignored by browser, will be ignored by browser. Generally, paragraph marks that you defined in editor will be ignored by browser. Browser will ignore them. Actually, so you have to manually add paragraphs. You need to add paragraphs manually. So by using paragraph p tag. So what is the intention is nothing but generally one option is para paragraphs dot html. So here we are presenting some paragraphs of information. Then another one problem will come is so title, and you can keep some paragraphs. So in the body section we have some paragraphs. I will copy and paste some paragraphs in the body section. Directly I'm defining them. Some set of lines are there. I will copy and keep some set of lines here. I just kept some lines here. Actually, you can see that suppose I have two options. These two look like paragraphs. So in the presentation, you can see they look like paragraphs. So this is a paragraph. But actually, I separated them, but it displays in one line. Already we know that. We know that line breaks we have to manually add. You can add BR for line break. You can add one more BR for two lines break. Any number of line breaks you can add. Now it looks like a paragraph, but technically it is not a paragraph. Suppose I want to keep this alignment right side even, justified, then these all lines are not considered as one paragraph. You cannot apply effect for them because it is not defined in any container. So, and for every paragraph we want some space, then again we have to manually add BR. Instead of doing that, for paragraphs, you can simply keep a P element. This is for paragraph. You can configure that, and you can keep your paragraph inside that P element. Every paragraph can be defined inside that element. Every paragraph can be defined there. Now, what happens is, so advantage is paragraph element will have a line break above, will have a line space, you can say. We'll have a line space above and below. We can have a line space above and below. So by default, and paragraph, paragraph, paragraph defines defines a container. Paragraph defines a container which can align the contents left, center, right, or justify by using align attribute. By using align attribute, you can align left, center, right, or justified by using align attribute. Align is important attribute for that. So paragraph element, you can see that this is paragraph. Now you have line breaks. Now I want to reduce the unevenness in right edge. Then for this paragraph, we can add align to center. It will keep center alignment. But I want right side unevenness. Then we can put justify. Justify is a general alignment, in computers. It will set right margin correctly. So you can organize your information into paragraphs and you can align the contents. So you can align the contents to left, center, right, or justified. Paragraphs will have a line break above and below. Technically, we have a line break above and below. So whenever you want, you can configure a paragraph better by using P. Sometimes people ask like, I can use div also. You can use div also, but div will come to next line, but it will not have a line space between paragraphs. So better to keep the paragraphs in this paragraph element, to keep all the content inside this paragraph element. Similarly, we have block quote also. Paragraph is defined by using this P, and block quote is also similar to paragraph, but it is defined with the left and right padding. It is defined with the left and right padding. Block quote is similar to paragraph, so but it is defined with the left and right padding. So so it is configured. So usually block quote, it is defined by using block quote element. We have to use block quote with align attribute set to same left, center, right, or justify. So block quote is also same, but block quote and paragraphs block quote will have left and right padding. What is padding? So I will just tell you here. Generally, suppose we have some content. We have some content. Now, the content around the content, there will be space. The space around the content, the space which is around the content, this space is called padding. This space is called padding. So we have the content, the space around the content is called padding actually. So usually we have left padding, right padding, top padding, bottom padding. That means 4 padding options will be available. So that means it is the space. So it is the space around it. It is the space around it. We generally call this padding. So that is padding actually. That is padding. Space around it is padding. And usually around the padding some space will be there. Around the padding some space will be there. That is actually called margin. That is called margin. how much space you want after padding. That is margin. So that means this space is considered as margin. That is considered as margin. So you have top margin, you have left margin, right margin, bottom margins also. So padding will be having some space from margin, right? Around the content you have padding. And this is what actually margin and padding are, which we will perfectly apply and learn in CSS actually. Initially, just you need to know what is the meaning of padding. So in different occasions, we will keep that also, right? This is the margin and padding. So what is block quote? Block quote will have left and right padding. You can see now, suppose I am writing another paragraph above. So above I set block quote. Inside the block quote, we kept some paragraph. And you can observe that paragraph is actually, so from left and right border, paragraph is there. And you can see that block quote is having padding little bit, left padding and right padding. It is having left and right padding. Block quote can also have align as justify. Align as justify. Block quote can also justify. Now, if you want, you can adjust this padding more. You can configure and adjust the padding more. Already it is having some padding. You can adjust the padding more by using CSS actually. So this is default. You cannot increase this with HTML. With HTML, we cannot increase this padding. So what we can do is we can write a style. And in that we can write block quote. And for block quote, we will put padding. Padding as suppose some 50 pixels padding. And you can see that the padding will increase for that. But remember, all sides padding increase. Above padding, below padding, left padding, right padding, because padding sets all directions. We can write like this, padding left 50 pixels and padding right also 50 pixels, or you can put a uneven also, and only left right padding will increase, not top and bottom padding. So that's what I said, block quote by default have left and right padding. Suppose I said to 100, so left padding will be 100, right padding is 50 only. Right also I defined to 100, so 100 padding are defined here. Padding defined here, and it will be left right padding 100. Technically the padding left and the padding right. So block quote by default have this, we can adjust. So generally later you will learn how to keep first letter, large letter, how we can keep space between the letters and all. Currently we are just discussing about only block quote. Block quote cannot do anything other than this. Even it doesn't have more padding also. It doesn't have more padding. We have to manually set it through the styles. We have to manually set the padding actually. Generally, when we are displaying such content, suppose I said for this block quote font style italic, then block quote will be set with font style italic. Generally, we want first line with some space. All these you will learn in CSS, how to do that. Initially, that is the purpose of block quotes. Whenever we define block quotes, this is how we configure the block quotes actually. Just for displaying summaries or some theme like content to display, we can use block quote. By default, block quote have up to certain points left, right indent. You can adjust that by using space. So two important tags are required for this paragraph and block quotes. So, and those two tags are actually, so one is paragraph tag. So paragraph is P, that is the paragraph tag, and block quotes. So block quotes. So for block quote, we have to use block quotes. Block quotes. So these are the tags. Block quotes. Quote. Technically, we need to define the paragraphs and block quotes to display paragraphs and blocked quotations. So both have the same attribute align. Align can be set to left, center, right, or justified. This is a simple example. I will just copy this example. This is just, it is an example for paragraphs and blocked quotes. So if you want to adjust the block quote from more than what it is, you can define. You can put padding for anyone. You can even put padding for paragraph also. But block quotes by default have that. And not only that, generally block quotes are used for summary. Then it will be more helpful in SEO, search engine optimization, which can identify the summary of your topics that you are presenting on the page. For that reason, so we can use these block quotations and we can configure the block quotations. So that is how we can define the block quotes. Displaying information can be done in this. So paragraphs and block quotes. Now another option is, so not only just paragraphs and block quotes. Yeah, this is paragraphs and block quotes. We have another option is we can present the contents in details and summary. We can present the contents in details and summary. We have details and summary. Paragraphs by using P tag and block quote by using block quote tag. Two attributes for them, left align attribute, which can be set left, center, or right and justify. What is details and summary? Details and summary is nothing but, so we can, so that means actually page will display all contents. So page will display all content. So in such a way that user will see all the content every time. Now, generally that is the nature of page. Page can display all content until or unless you use special hiding options and the elements which can't show. Page will display all content. Now in page you can design content. So which can display in detail only when required. In page you can design content which can display in details only when required. That means you can keep a summary. You can keep a summary. User can view details of that summary. User can view details of that summary when required. That means this will save the space. This will save the space on screen while viewing the contents. Actually, that means generally in page everything will be displayed, but we can display only the content that is required for that particular situation. So that you can manage by using details and summary. So the details element is used to configure details with the summary. Details element is used to configure details with the summary. And the summary element is used to define summary text for details. It is used to display summary text for details. What is that? You will understand. You will see that. So generally, so that is details and the summary. So configuring the details and summary. So usually, so we are specifying the details and summary and the purpose of details and summary. So why we need details and summary? What is the main intention of details and summary? Let's see. Actually, suppose we are configuring some information. We are displaying some information. So yeah, so let's take a new page, details summary.html. And here we are defining the details and summary in this way. And in the body, so here I'm adding some heading like full stack, yeah, full stack, yeah, full stack web development. Okay, now under this, I'm adding some contents. And to add the contents, I'm using details. I'm using details. In the details, so we are defining a summary. Details with a summary. We are defining a summary. Inside the details, we are defining the summary. Actually, details contains the information to display. First, we will design them. Details contain the information to display. So for example, so here we are defining some paragraphs. So it is a markup language. Okay. Another, it is used for presentation, like this. That is one details. And what is the summary for this details? I will keep a summary called HTML. Under HTML summary, this information is present. And this is one details. And for this details, the summary is HTML. Now I am adding another details. In that summary is CSS. So, and paragraph, it defines styles for HTML. And here, so styles will make HTML more interactive. Like this I define. Now, what is the concept of details and summary? You can observe that every details will have a summary. There can be multiple details maintained in the page. Usually, so once you run this, you can see that details will display in this way. That means you can see HTML and CSS. And HTML, when I click on this, it expands and shows the details. And CSS, it expands and shows the details. It is expanding and displaying the details. So whenever you want, you can collapse the details. Because generally, a lot of contents may be there. And we don't want to view all of them at that particular situation. Then we can keep this details and summary. Now, important, sometimes I want one topic to open every time. I don't want empty. Then what you can do is which details you want. The details you can keep open. So details will use an open attribute. So details uses open as attribute to display the summary, to display the details on page load. On page load, if you want to display the details, then you just use open attribute. If I use open attribute, you can see that. So by default, it is open. You can keep both open. So that's your wish. You can keep second one also open. And you can see both are in open state. You want, you can collapse them. But whenever I refresh the page and page loads, they will in open state. So we don't want both to open, only one, first one will be open. and the others will be hidden. Now you can expand. We can design an accordion style. Accordion styles you will learn in CSS. In accordion style, what we can do is when user clicks on CSS, then HTML will be hidden. When user clicks HTML, CSS will be hidden. We can dynamically control that. For that, we can use CSS, we can use jQuery, JavaScript also we can use for doing such. Initially, this is details and summary. This is used everywhere regularly. For example, suppose we are defining. So products, or you say shopping categories. And here we kept details. In the details, we defined a summary, say electronics. You can keep anything. You can keep pictures and all. Initially, I will just keep a simple div here. In that, I am defining in the details, whatever the div is there, I am defining like, so in the electronics, we have mobiles. So we have mobiles. So, and we have like television, TV. Okay, we are defining like this. So, and suppose, and div some watches like this. And similarly, I have another details. And in that summary, so we have some fashion. And here we have a div, some menswear. So, and here we say men wear, right? So, and we say kids wear, something like this. Like this. And you can see that. So this will be displayed in this way. And when user clicks on that, those categories and options will be displayed. Of course, we can change the alignments and placements for them. You can change the appearance for them. Later, you will learn about lists. Then you can present them in a list form. As of now, we are just presenting as div. So we are just presenting as div inside the details. Actually, in styles, suppose I added a style, and we have details. In details, we have a div. So that space, that means in details, we have a div. Suppose I am writing this angle brace in details div. So we have margin, so bottom, so or margin top. So as suppose 5 pixel. That means you can see that. So here the margins will be displayed, little bit space. Similarly, margin left is 5 pixels. So left side margin also little bit adjusted. Suppose margin 15 pixels left, and you can see little bit left side, you can see fashion also, it will come in this way. You can keep different options. You can say border as 2 pixel solid, and padding I defined as 2 pixels padding, and you can see that. So that appearance will be in this way: mobiles, televisions, so fashions. So all these options will be kept with the border. So we can put different colors for the borders and display different color for the borders. It will keep the content and show the content there, right? So suppose width is some 300 pixels. Then you can see that the width will be like this: mobiles, televisions. We have fashion, footwear, menswear. We can keep the appearance as we want. It depends on the requirement. That means we want to keep like buttons. So we can keep them like buttons. So we can keep them with the different colors and effects. So that is not the point here. Our point is just to understand what is details and summary. How we can make this presentation better We have so many ways that you will see in CSS. So what is the advantage of this? So that on the screen, user can view only what he wants. We can just display the list. Generally, you see tutorials, contents everywhere. You will find this type of approach very regularly. This type of approach very regular, so that he can view only the content that is required for that particular situation. So this is a general option for details and summary. Syntactically, how you configure this? That means the basic syntax for this. We have details, and in the details we have summary, and we have summary text. And you can close the summary, and here you can write your content, what you want to display, and close the details. So every details and summary is configured in this way. So example, this is an example for that. I will copy. So and yeah. So this is an example. This is a simple example for details and summary. And to keep the details open, we have to use the attribute open. Later with CSS and JavaScript, we can even dynamically control it. We can even dynamically control, and we can dynamically manage it. So that is what actually how we can manage the contents. So this is about paragraphs, block quotations, details, and summary. Next option. So in HTML, we have different types of lists in HTML. These are all for presenting the contents. We have different types of lists in HTML. We have various types of lists for presentation. So different types of lists are there. So different types of lists. What are the different types of lists? We will see. So how we can manage those lists. So lists in HTML, actually, so we have terms and definitions. We have ordered list. We have unordered list. So we have several options. So that means generally terms and definitions means these are called as data list. We call this as data list. So generally for presenting the paragraphs, we have three types of lists. We have a data list, we have ordered list, and we have unordered list. So these are three types of lists we have. Actually, what is data list? Data list is nothing but it is used to display a list of terms and definitions. It is used for displaying a list of terms and definitions. That is the intention actually. It is used for displaying the list of terms and definitions. So that means means a data list contains collection of terms and their definitions. That is what actually. That means terms and definitions. Terms and definitions are defined with the preset alignment. That means with the preset alignment and indentation. Ready-made alignment and indentation are present actually. So every term. So actually here few points. Data list is defined by using DL. DL is for data list. The terms are defined by using DT, that is data term. The definitions the definitions are defined by using DD. DD is for data definition. That is, these are the three important tags you need: data list, data terms, and data definition. Important is every term can have multiple definitions, multiple definitions, definitions, definitions. Every term can have multiple definitions. So let's see what is the data list terms and definitions and how do we deal with them. Actually, for presenting of contents, there are so many options here. So there are various methods of presenting the content. So data list is defined with DL. Data list contains terms and definitions. Every term can have multiple definitions. Syntactically, generally, how we write the terms and definitions is syntax. So DL is data list. In that DT is the term. You have to define the term in DT. And under that data term, you will have data definition. So this is definition 1. And definition close. Every term can have several definitions. You can write any number of definitions. It can be one or many. Now, similarly, you can write another term. So this is another term. And in that term, again, there can be definition. So data terms and definitions. So, and you can close the data list. This is the basic syntax, how you write the terms and definitions. So a data list comprises of set of terms and definitions. Usually, arranging that information requires a lot of things actually. Initially, suppose we are presenting some content in a terms and definitions like this. So terms and terms definitions .html. And here, let's create one simple terms and definitions head and title and terms and definitions. In the body section, so here I am keeping a heading, product details. And here I want to display the product details. Then I will use a general. Actually, first I will present normally and show you. Suppose we have name. Under name we have some Samsung team. And we have price. Under price we have this price. So, and some ampersand hash 8377 semicolon. It will put a currency symbol. And here we defined some in stock. So stock or simply like stock. So available, right. And manufactured. So some date, suppose 2020, like this. Now usually all this information will be displayed so in a single line. Everything will be displayed in a single line. Now what I am doing here is I will keep all this in data list. So still data list also keeps everything in one line only. In data list, this is a term DT. The name is a term. That is the term. Under the term, we have this definition DD. Similarly, price is a term. So DT. Under the price, this is the definition. So that is DD. And stock is a term and DT. Under the stock, this is the definition. So that means DD. That is the definition. Manufactured is a term. Under this, so we have so the data definition. And you can see that now it will have the appearance in this way. You can see some indentation will be there. Now what I am doing here is just I am defining style. Style is nothing but wherever term is there, I will say font weight as bold. That means font will be thicker. Then you will see the terms and definitions in this way. Wherever term is there, I can put some background color, so gray, and I can put some color as white, and I can put some width, so width as some 300, and you can see that the appearance will be in this way. So we have these product details, width as 200, then it will keep this like this. That means this is terms and definitions. By default, terms and definitions are arranged in this way. Definitions are arranged in this. Later, you can change its placements, you can change its content, you can keep anywhere you want. Usually, this type of appearance is very common. Later, we will learn some more options because CSS, by using CSS, we do a lot of work here. Actually, presentation is important here. Actually. That means generally for data list, what we can do is we can arrange the information in columns and we can keep the content in columns. That you will learn later, how to arrange into columns. Then what we can do is we can keep the data definition beside the data term. That is a very common thing regularly we see actually. That means we can keep the data definition beside the data term side by side. Side by side also you can do. But only the point is for that we need to change so many things which are very complex at this level. So just what we need to know here is we need to just understand the basic thing. So that means we have to just define the basic thing. Later we will learn all of them. That means actually what we can do, data list. The data list we can put display as flexible display. When we keep flexible display, you can see the content will be side by side. Suppose I'm just keeping this bold. Other options I am removing for that. That means it will keep the content side by side. So that means the details can be kept side by side. And of course, so we can arrange into rows and columns also. So we can arrange that class. We can configure and arrange the class, right? So we can use CSS classes for arranging and configuring them. But that requires several more options to understand. What is flex, how we can display grid, how we can display in columns. Then you can keep these one per line, one term and one definition, another term and another definition. That means we need to arrange in rows and columns. We need to configure the rows and columns also. These becomes very complex at this level, so we will not try them. Later we will see with styles how we can manage. Here in HTML, we can just understand what is the purpose of this element and how to write it. That is the point. So the purpose of this is to display terms and definitions. Just I kept one bold, that is enough. For this you can use for so many things. Suppose this is product details. And suppose we are adding some options, same like previous web technologies. So web technologies. And under this we have data list and data term, HTML. Under HTML, data definition. So it is a markup language. And another data definition. So it is used for presentation. There can be several definitions under that. Another data term. So that is CSS. And we have data definition. So it is used to define styles. And another data definition, styles make HTML interactive like this. Now when I save this, and you can see that that's what it will display. And you can see HTML under that, the definitions. We can see CSS under that, we have definitions. So we can configure them and we can define them. Technically, we can manage that. We can manage that. Presentation how you want. You can keep them center, you can keep them left, you can keep them right. Anywhere you can define it. Usually you can configure anywhere. That requires the attributes to define. That means if I say here, so background color for all the terms and definitions, some teal, and the color as white, and the text aligned to center. If I keep all these, then you can see it will be in this way. It's your wish how you want to present the information for that. So if I define width as some 200 pixels, then it will keep all the content in this way. Individually, you can manage them for all of them, but those are not required at this level. I will just keep and make it very simple. Just font bold. Then terms will be defined with bold. Terms and definitions advantage is by default definitions have some indentation. Terms have some indentation. We can display with terms and definition indentation. Later, actually, we can keep these contents. If there are so many contents, we can keep the effects in such a way that these effects will make the presentation more better. So with CSS, we can do that. Generally, that is very commonly seen everywhere. For example, this is one example. Let it be. I will copy this example. So let's copy this example. So this is an example for terms and definitions. Let's see. That means regularly in real time websites, you will see this in terms and definitions just presenting, but a lot of effects will be there for them. For example, suppose see, here I am configuring a lot of terms and definitions. Let's keep that. That means a lot of terms and definitions are there. Suppose here we have a data list. In that we have a data term. And the data term contains HTML. Under the data definition, normal elements. So, data definition, void elements. So data definition, RC data elements like this. And raw text elements. So some raw text elements, something like this. And just roughly, I will copy that and paste into several. I'm copying into several. Okay. Similarly, another data term, I have CSS. I am definition here. I am saying selectors. So here say backgrounds. So here I define as color, some borders like this. So we have some media, and I will just copy that. And under that, I will copy and paste some definitions. Another data term is some JavaScript. And here I have some data definition variables, data definition, data types. So, and the data definition, so operators, and data definition statements like this. And I will copy this and I will paste that again repeatedly. Now you have a lot of content. Under every definition, you have a lot of content. You can see HTML is a term. Under that, so much is there. And again, CSS. Under CSS, again, JavaScript like this. Now, generally, when you see a lot of terms and definitions under them, actually for data term, so I defined some background color as black, and I defined color as white. So that is background color, black and white. And interestingly here, what I can do now, data term position, I can keep sticky position. So, and margin top margin. So margin top margin as 0 pixel. That means Actually, position sticky means it will keep the information there itself. That means it will keep that HTML. That means it is in the document itself. In the document flow where you have, it will be there. But when the heading reaches margin 0 pixels, top 0 pixels, it becomes sticked. It will stick to the page. That means it will be at its position initially, but when it reaches margin 0 pixels, then it will stick there. You can see this now. If I put this sticky, and you can see now, I scroll HTML, you can see it goes there. And here, one more option is there. That means sticky position. So this is, we are defining for the terms here. That means sticky position we need to configure. Actually, sticky requires some more options to define. So some more options to define. I will show you. Means what are the options we can define for the sticky position. Generally, one basic thing you should know that such positions we are learning like sticky and all, they are not suitable for every browser also. For that, we need some plugins. That is the reason in CSS, you will learn everything detailedly. Initially, so how we can manage the configurations, how we can manage the effects. So we will see that. Actually, the position is the data terms position. These are controlled with top position, left position, right position here. Margin top means from margin top how much space. But actually, when it reaches top 0 pixel, not margin, page top 0 pixel, it should fix that. Then we will put top 0 pixel fixed. Okay. You see now, here I refresh and I move that. Here, HTML, it will fix there. I can scroll the rest of the topics. And then it goes to CSS, and CSS will go top and it will stick there. And rest of CSS topics I can browse. And it goes to JavaScript and it will stick there, and I can scroll the rest of contents. If there is content to scroll, that is the reason I taken so many things. That means I copied and pasted so many options so that I can make it sticky. So that means when I scroll down again, then again JavaScript contents will expand, CSS contents will expand, and these contents will expand. That means usually there can be heading. That means I keep here a heading. So web technologies, and you can see this is web technologies. So that is the heading. Now when I scroll, so up to when I reach this 0 at the top, when it reaches 0 at the top, it sticks there. The same thing will happen for all the definitions, all the terms. So second term also will stick at that 0, and third term also will stick at that. So that is how we can make the content scrollable. So this is generally seen in several websites, and this type of presentation is mostly done by using the terms and definitions. So it is easy for terms and definition to manage this type of content. This is a general example. So usually position sticky indicates that up to certain extent it will scroll and it will become stick. How much position it should scroll, that you have to tell by using top. Suppose top I say 10 pixels, then you can see that top 10 pixels gap will be there. After 10 pixels it will stop. Then you can see the contents are sliding behind it. That is the reason we just keep this 0, that exact top, so that it can scroll up to the top. That is generally the approach we follow. There can be different colors, different effects individually defined. So that means HTML one color, so CSS another color, JavaScript another color. We can keep different colors. That depends on the content. That means here I can give only one, and it will apply everywhere the same one. But individually you can manage HTML different background colors, so that generally we can do in all the CSS thing. So that makes its presentation more better in handling and interaction. That makes the presentation better, right? 1 second. Right. So that is technically how we can manage and how we can deal with the presentations, right? That is data terms and data definitions. This is another example for handling the terms and definitions. This is another example for dealing with the terms and definition. So let's see, this is example that is sticky position, right? So the terms and definitions can be sticky position, and copy this and let's paste this here. Yeah, you can keep anything like sticky. You can put a navigation bar as sticky. You can put the terms and definitions as sticky, which you will see in different examples. So position sticky means it will be at that position only until you scroll to the top 0 pixel. Once it goes to the top 0 pixel, it becomes sticky, right? That is what the point here. So generally, this is good while working with these terms and definitions. So this is the first important list we have, a data list. Generally, data list is a collection of terms and definitions. Under every term, there can be several definitions. And currently, we are presenting only text. So under a definition, you can present anything. So you can present a picture, you can present a form, anything. As of now, we haven't learned that, which we will do in different examples later. So currently we are just keeping some text. It doesn't mean that it should have only text. It can have images, it can have pictures, and it can have tables, it can have forms. So much can be there inside data definition, which we will gradually learn when we learn about other elements also, right? This is data list. How we can use the data list and work with data list. Here, you should not get confused one point, because this data list comes under another concept also. This data list comes under another concept also. So the concept is nothing but in forms also you have an option called data list. Forms data list is different. Forms data list is different. And this list data list is different. Form have an option called data list actually, which you will learn in forms. So that means form have an option called data list. That is a different one. So, but generally when we call data list means, so people may think in two ways. That's the reason we need to be more specific. It is list related to not forms. It is just list related to the terms and definitions, right? List related to terms and definitions. So data list, so this is related to terms and definitions. Terms and definitions actually. Definitions. That is data list with terms and definition. Next important after the data list. So, and another option we have is ordered list. We have ordered list. This is also simple. Ordered list, it is nothing but it defines auto numbering for items in a collection. It defines auto numbering for items in a collection. Actually, numbering will update automatically when you add or remove remove item. So it is defined by using OL. OL is ordered list. So the list is defined, right? Actually, the list is defined by using OL. And the items in list are defined. By using li. Li is list item. It is defined by using li. Technically, that is the ordered list and unordered list. That is how actually the option works. So The point here is when you are dealing with ordered list and unordered list, there are so many attributes also which you can make this list more better. A lot of things are there under this. For example, let's see. Suppose instead of terms and definitions, I am using another option here. So ordered list dot html. Here I am configuring. So the list with the heading say title as ordered list. And here we are adding body section. Yeah, in the body section, we are defining a heading. So HTML. Under this heading, we have OL, that is ordered list. Ordered list contains collection of list items, li, and here say normal elements. Another list item like void elements. Another list item like RC data elements. Another list item like some raw text elements like this. Now you can see this will be displayed as a list. That means a numbered list. Numbered list will contain numbering 1, 2, 3. It will contain the numbering 1, 2, 3. And if I add anything, suppose above raw text elements, I added another foreign elements. And you can see that it will get that foreign elements there, raw text elements numbering will be updated. Actually, what this is the basic. That means this is basic how you can create a list. So that is the basic how we can configure the list. So syntactically, you can define the list in this way. And the default numbering will be 1, 2, 3, the default numbering. So you can change the numbering type by using type attribute. By using type attribute, you can change the numbering type by using type attribute. So it can be defined as one. So it can be defined as one. There are so many options, like it can be defined as one. So it can be defined as a. It can be defined as lowercase a, and it can be defined as Roman, and it can be defined as Roman uppercase. These are the options. So that means syntactically, so you can define the type. You can define the type. OL type is equal to A. The numbering will be A, B, C like this. You can change the numbering type. You can configure the numbering type by using this type attribute. You can configure that. So the numbering type can be defined by using this option, the type A, B, C. You can configure and specify the numbering. So you can see that. That means only these will be there. You can put symbols also, symbols that you will see later, how we can get different symbols and configure them, you will see later. So initially we are talking about numbering, means only numbering, because some people immediately ask a question, sir, how to get symbol? That is what we are going to learn, right? Currently we are talking about number, so stick to that point only. That means how to get symbol, that is another point, another option, right? This is only number. So a number has only these options. We don't have more than that, right? And we don't have different effects. So we can use only these. That means others we can apply through styles. I say type is equal to A. That means it will be lowercase a, b, c, d. I can define type as A, that is uppercase A, B, C, D. I can define the type as Roman. So that is Roman lowercase 1, 2, 3. And Roman upper, it can be Roman upper here. By default, it is 1, 2, 3 number. Another important option, so that means you can configure different types here. Just you need to keep this attribute. That means this is the example. So you have to just keep this type is equal to A, or any another numbering style you want. Actually, so here you can define one more. So numbering 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 starts with, usually numbering starts with 1. So 1, so numbering starts with 1, so that means actually level 1, it starts with level 1. You can change the level number by using start attribute. By default, numbering will start with 1, level 1. You can change the level number by using start attribute. That means start specifies. So from which level the numbering has to start. This it will display. It specifies from which level numbering has to start. That means you see here, suppose I said 1, 2, 3. That is displaying 1, 2, 3 as numbering. And here I said start. So I define start as some 5. It will start from 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I say start 101. It will start from that 101. We can define from where to start. For example, if I say A, that means it will start A, B, C, D. Then I want to start from F or D or E. Then here, don't give any E, F like that. I said that level number. Level number means it is a number. That means you have to tell that it is 4. That means it will start with the D, E, F, G. You have to give the level. One doubt will come. So if there are more than 26, how the numbering will come? If it is ABC. If it is ABC, generally you know in computer technologies, after A to Z, how the numbering will be given. A to Z, after A to Z, AA, then AB, then AC. Like that, it will give up to AZ. After that, BA and BZ. ZZ, after ZZ, AAA. Like this, it will go on. That is a general point. In any computer technology, the numbering is defined in ABC and it is more than 26, then obviously it follows this technique everywhere. So it follows this technique. So here, if there are several, then it will say AA, AB, AC like that. So numbering will start from this location. You can define start. It will be D, F, G, H like this. You should not say that numbering should start with F. You should say the level number. So level number is very important here. So example, so this is the level number. So configuring the level number is important for that. From which level it should start. So start from that specific level number. Another important point is, so you can reverse the numbering. You can reverse the numbering. But unfortunately, it is not supported on every browser. So reversing, it is new in HTML. It is new in HTML, reverse numbering. So, but it is not supported on every browser. So for that, actually what we can do is, suppose I said number, type as 1. I'm not defining any start, and it will be like, so number will be like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm using here reversed. And reversed, you can see 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The numbering will be reversed. So many times you need this reverse numbering, especially when you are displaying some bottom to top records list like that. Remember, the contents are not reversed, only numbering is reversed. Generally, we get the contents dynamically in reverse order. Then we need to keep this numbering also in reverse. This is not supported on every browser. This is very latest option. It is not supported on every browser. So that's the reason they apply by using styles, this kind of mechanism. But now in HTML, directly it is available. You can just keep reversed. Suppose I say type A, that means it will be reversed, ED, B, A. Suppose I said here, so type 1, reverse it. Suppose I said start as suppose 5. Then what happens is it will be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Suppose start as 2. I define like this. Then it will be 2, 1. After that 0, minus 1, minus 2. In this way it will go. Because you said start with 2. From 2 it will go down. So it will be in reverse form. That's how it will arrange the contents. It can reverse the content and arrange the content. So this is reversed. This is another reversed. You can use reversed. You can reverse the numbering. So by using reversed attribute. So by using reverse attribute, but it is not supported on every browser. Just example for this, how you can reverse the numbering is this. Different types of numbering and configuring. And very important, numbering can be nested. That means multi-level numbering. So a numbering inside another numbering, there can be nested numbering. There can be symbols, there can be nested numbering. That we will see in next session. Tomorrow we will continue with this. So tomorrow we will work with the nested and symbols, how to add them, right? Tomorrow we will see the other options, huh? Right. Hope you are clear with this. Yeah. So tomorrow we will have the backup class. Already yesterday I told you, tomorrow we will have the backup class, right? The backup session. And not the regular session, right? Tomorrow we will have the backup session, not regular session. In the backup session, for the people who missed out the normal, right? Early topics. Yeah, I will verify that. So what we have done. Once you attend the backup, you will know what the topics, which day topics. Early topics means from the beginning, not HTML. Before HTML, what we learned. Demo sessions, what happened, those backup. Yes, Rajeshwari.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, yesterday had discussed regarding Grasshopper app.
Regard to?
Grasshopper app.
Yes, yes.
Which would be possible to practice MVC also, sir?
So in that they provided only few languages. You can see what they provided, right? Not everything. That is just for coding, basics of coding, right?
Is there any app for MVC, sir?
For MVC, we don't have any apps, right? So this is only for just developers coding, right?
Okay.
There are no apps for them.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You will learn about all about OL when we finish it, right? We are still in the beginning of ordered list. So you can wait till the topic is finished, then your doubts will be cleared. We haven't finished the ordered list topic, right? Once we finish, you will be cleared. So no need to hurry in the questions. Let the topic finish.